with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is Saturday, October the 4th, and you have entered overtime. And if you simply tuned in tonight to see if my head would explode from today's gargantuan schedule, thank you anyway. I've got mouths to feed and tuition to pay, and in that spirit, any viewer is a good and appreciated viewer. So let's get down to business because we've got plenty of it tonight. A season and a half into his Western Illinois coaching tenure, Bob Nielsen is still looking for that first big splash signature win, something that says a corner has been turned in his program. Certainly ending the 28-game win streak of a three-time defending national champion would kind of fit that bill. History against the next day, however, who haven't beaten a #1 ranked team since Youngstown State way back in 1998. They'd have the chance today at Hanson Field taking on a North Dakota State Bison squad today that didn't really know what it was getting itself into because the Western defense was flat out salty in this one and equal to the task. Very impressive today. It was a group led by Kevin Kinsel and Luke Venegoni, who had a career-best 9 tackles on the day as they start things off with a little bit of a statement right there. The Bison make it down into the red zone. Carson Wentz under heavy pressure here, and he wilts and throws it away right there. North Dakota State gets a 20-yard field goal to make it 3-0, though, off the foot of Adam Keller. Early lead. It would stay that way for a while. WIU looking to answer. How about J.C. Baker? This young man about to do some work right here. 31 years of Mr. Baker, or 31 yards, I should say. It felt like years, I guess, if you're trying to defend him. Out of bounds at the WIU 47. The drive would stall. Leatherneck defense, though, just kept things going. The gang tackling today, exceptional by the Necks as they'd continue to go to work and give Mr. Baker the ball back. And he'd go to work yet again in this one. 1st and 10 at the WIU 12. Mr. Baker, 66 yards worth of goodness. And that run leads to Knuff. Nathan Knuffman stepping up, knocking a 30-yarder to tie this game up at 3 apiece. And that is how we would end up at the end of halftime. Western gets it back, looking to take the lead. Trenton Norvell, however, had his struggles today passing the football. Western, as you saw, ran it well. Norvell right here going to get picked off by Easley Thornton, but the Leathernecks would turn around and turn the tables, reversing things right back near the end of the first half, as this is Marquis Privet with the interception, his first career INT. The offense couldn't do anything with it. The defense still keeping Western in the ballgame. Before the half, a big sack coming up right here by Chris Harley, and we go to the intermission, all tied up at 3 apiece as Mr. Harley wreaks havoc. Second half, here comes Mr. Baker again. Monster day for him as he had 175 yards on 21 carries. Picks up 11 right here to keep the chains a-moving at that point. A few plays later, it's Baker on his own. A 34-yard solo run into the end zone. Big splash play. Western had the lead on the #1 team in the country, 10-3. Sound the upset alerts. The Bison are #1, however, for a reason, and they would rally back despite some struggles and some issues today. Carson Wentz going to give the handoff here to John Crockett, who's going to do the halfback option thing very effectively to Mr. Wentz. Oh, that's deep playbook exotics right there for the touchdown pass to tie it up at that point at 10 apiece on the 16-yarder. 8 minutes later, the Bison would take the lead yet again, and for good this time, as it's Crockett going in from 7 yards away. The heartbreaker on homecoming for the Necks as they end up losing 17-0. Gave it a valiant effort. Will Wilson will have much more on Western's big-time, just close miss coming up tomorrow night on the Sunday Night Sportscast. Meanwhile, we've got some related news to pass along to you today. Hannibal Junior offensive lineman Dylan Powell took in the festivities this afternoon at Hanson Field and walked away with his first Division I offer from Western Illinois. It will probably not be the last for the junior, who carries a rival star ranking and who has also made visits already to Iowa and Nebraska. But #1 as a Division I offer is in the books for Dylan Powell. Western was there last night, as we mentioned to you, I think, on the show last night. So obviously a productive weekend for Mr. Powell. We wish him well on his decision. Really good kid. Also on the docket today, the news not good for Culver Stockton as the offense comes apart, particularly the passing game against Graceland. Culver Stockton shut out today. Desmond Phillips about the lone bright spot now when he had 147 yards rushing for the Wildcats in the loss. Meanwhile, Central Methodist, who is up next for Culver Stockton, in Canton next week. Big time upset victory over Mid-America Nazarene today, 24-18. Tyler Steinkamp, the pride of Mark Twain High School, 54 rushing yards and a pair of touchdowns. I believe those are now the third and fourth of his college career. Nice job, Tyler. Again, Central Methodist Culver coming up next week. That should be an awful lot of fun. And Greenville today beats McMurray 63-44. Have not yet seen an updated stat line, so we can't tell you what Coy Dorothy did passing-wise today, but I can tell you the numbers will be huge. During the break, I'll try to check and see if we can't get you final numbers on that one. Quincy University hosting Indy today, two-time GLVC champs, down 28-6 in the third quarter, but showing signs of life right here was Tom Pagic's team. 4th and 8, Nick Lonergan looking to convert, and he's looking to Owen Schoenberger, who picks it up. 22 yards when you needed 8. That's really good. Sets up Dante Flowers. He himself really good when he wasn't injured today. Nice take for him around the horn and to the corner, hitting the boundary, making it 28-13 at that point. Indy, however, would answer with a long, methodical, frustrating drive. Quincy University's defense just couldn't quite find a way to get off the field. A lot of third down conversions led to this. Andrew Walker from 17 yards away extends the lead back to 35-13 in favor of Indy. But the first play of the fourth quarter, this is an absolutely beautifully drawn up play. Nick Lonergan off jet sweep action, play action, and hooks up with a freshman, Ryan Finders, who finds his way to pay dirt there from 37 yards away. It's 35-20. It seemed like momentum had swapped in favor of Quincy University again, though. The defense coming up strong right here. Big time stops until two big plays actually in the fourth quarter just kind of evaporate things. The last of them coming here on Matt Ripp's touchdown rumble made it 42-20. That is the way it ended up. Quincy University's defense struggled today. The offense showed signs. I'll tell you what, that's a tough opponent, though, for the Hawks as they try to put things back together. There is some positives to be drawn off this game today. We'll see where it goes from there coming up next week. What has been the most star-crossed of starts for the Illinois college football squad with such lofty expectations it started with this preseason. In their last two games, the Blue Boys have scored 68 points and lost, and taken a 21-point lead into the fourth quarter and lost. For Garrett Campbell's own general health and well-being alone, IC needed something really good to happen today against Ripon. We take you to the highlights in this one. The Blue Boy defense, a little bit maligned of late, had something to prove today. 3rd and short. IC, though, gave up just 213 total yards of offense, and the big stop right there by James Dombacher to force a Ripon punt. Michael Bates then goes immediately to work. Looks like he hooks up with Josh Gentile on a beautiful touchdown catch. He was ruled out the back line of the end zone. Gentile not pleased about that. Doesn't matter. Michael Bates going to call his own number right here, scramble in from 20 yards away, and give his team at that point a 7-3 lead. Illinois College led 7-6 at the half. The defense really good, as I mentioned today. No touchdown surrender, just the 6 points in the first half, 2 field goals as Dylan Ringhausen and company lead the charge today. Nice to see the IC defense bounce back. 21-7, the victory for IC, which improves to 2-2 on the season. Bonus coverage today as well from the Midwest Conference. We're on Jacob Wilson watch as the Brown County product. As we flip the highlights, go to the next set of highlights if we can. There's Jacob Wilson, former Brown County star. Needs 1 interception to become his school's all-time leader. Monmouth taking on Beloit today. Wilson involved early in this one, not an interception. In fact, he didn't have one today, but he was very active against the run and the pass with a nice tackle there. He also was fielding a few punts as well, helping the average right here with a couple of return yards. As I said, we'll have to wait until next week to see if he gets that historic interception. Monmouth, though, having absolutely no problems dispatching today with Beloit. Michael Buney, their running back today, 4 rushing touchdowns. He's going to start it here and make it 14-0, doing his best Trey Yoakum imitation today. Yoakum, if you got him. Buney again, as I mentioned, 4 touchdowns. This the prettiest of them from 34 yards away to make it 22-0. Monmouth in a rout today wins by the final count in this one of 40-7. So nice to see that. We'll keep tabs on Jacob Wilson for you in the coming weeks as well. Up for a big scholarship as well, a postgraduate scholarship. Both he and Michael Bates, one of the most prestigious in all of Division III. They'll find out their semifinalists. If they become finalists, I think they're guaranteed $18K for their postgraduate studies. They'll find that out at the end of the month. And you'll find out more about a busy day on the high school docket in volleyball, soccer. We've got some softball to talk about. We've got golf coming your way. It's all next right here on Overtime. Yes, straight up to the soccer graphic. No intro.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
A very productive day on the local prep docket, and we start off with soccer today, where Quincy High School down in St. Louis wrapped up a pretty nice run through the loaded Gateway Classic, beating today Sandia Prep of New Mexico, another nationally esteemed program, 1-0. Tyler Gerst with the shutout today. Hunter Hosher with the golden goal in that one, as Quincy High School ends up finishing third place in their pool. Also, not a bad day for Quincy Notre Dame in the loaded Mid-State Classic over at Arlington Heights. QD loses to a really good Sacred Heart Griffin team 2-1. Cooper Reese had the only goal in that game. Quincy Notre Dame then bounces back to tie Evanston. Actually, that game took place earlier in the morning. Cooper Reese had the only goal in that game as well. Cross country now. Tom Oakley Boys Classic today. Invitational at Bob Mays Park. Invaded some of the best runners around. Lincoln Way Norse. John Chomiak, really good today. He and La Plata's Seth Brown dueling at the 1 mile mark right here out in front of the pack. Lincoln Way, though, with 8 runners in the top 11. Quincy High's Brandon Kroger trying to keep pace in this group as well. But at the end of it, it was Chomiak kind of getting the distance on Seth Brown down the stretch. He'd end up winning by 5 seconds, kind of pulling away, as you see right here, coming up the hill to finish Chomiak in at 16:02 to help lead his team to victory. Lincoln Way North really good, really loaded on both sides of the boys and girls ledger. Seth Brown, though, excellent effort from La Plata, 16:07. Among the locals running very well today, Dalton Moore of Rushville Industry finished 5th today in a time of 17:15. Brendan Kroger out of Quincy High, as I mentioned, finished in 6th, right behind at a time of 17:16. Liberty's Lucas Boer was finished on the day in 10th place. Quincy High's Wendell Bias finished 11th. Quentin Thurman, I should say, of Rushville finished 13th, and Reed Tate of Liberty 15th. Quincy High School as a team comes in 2nd today. Liberty comes in 4th. On the girls' side of the ledger, you would have predicted your favorite going in, of course, Illini West Carly Garnett once again. But Lincoln Way North had 4 runners very much in the mix from the get-go, including someone right here in Carly Marshall, who would eat into Carly Garnett's sizable lead, and it just seemed to keep shrinking over the distance. In fact, Carly Marshall, as you will see her coming up in the rearview mirror of Carly Garnett down the stretch, you don't get many of these type sprint to the finishes, but nice kick by Marshall. Carly Garnett was not pleased to lose today, but she would get nipped at the line today, just like that. 19:49 for Marshall out of Lincoln Way North, which won the girls' title. Carly Garnett finishes second at 19:50. Caitlin Obert at the stretch, also with a little last-second heroics in this one. She's going to pass Kendall Marks out of Quincy High for 6th place. Marks would end up taking 7th. Then the Illini West contingent comes in 8th and 9th, which would be Mariah Brody at a time of 20:59, and Morgan Groth, who comes in the 9th place position. 10th place went to Charlie Wollaston of Quincy High School. Aletha Mulch of West Hancock was 11th. Sarah Lewis of QND in 12th. Lexi Bordewick of Quincy High School in 13th. Also Lily Seals of Quincy High School in 14th, and Renee Bushling of Clark County in 15th. Quincy High School finishes 2nd as a team. Illini West finishes 3rd as a team, and Liberty 4th, all behind Lincoln Way North. Told you, very busy day of running out there today. Some softball scores to pass along today. Knox County falling at Highland 4-2. Carly Smith, who else you expect? Perfect at the plate today with a run scored and an RBI to lead her team to victory, 4-2. And Centralia makes it a happy senior night, beating Palmyra by a single run in Centralia. 5-4 was your final there. We've got volleyball today. Championship match of the Rushville Industry Classic between Illini West and Havana. Bump set spike. Jenna Bryan calls down the thunder right here to get her team started on the right foot. Havana would go on a mini run to answer until Aubrey Carlisle would shut them down right here with a block. This kind of set Illini West back in a positive motion, and Aubrey again would make her presence felt, helping her team jump out to a 10-7 lead right here with yet another bit of goodness. Great day today as well by Marley Burt, who's going to make her presence felt from the outside right here, kind of doing some nifty things right here to get the side out for the Chargers as they would build a lead that they would not relinquish in this one. Marley Burt, as I mentioned, going well. Michaela Gronwald doing Michaela Gronwald type things as well on this one as she comes up and sets it right. Illini West takes the championship of this tournament. I believe this is the 2nd year in a row for the Lady Chargers. As they get it done, Illini West is your 1st place winner. 3rd place today to be decided between Rushville Industry and Porta. The Rockets down 2 in the decisive 3rd set in this one. Hannah Crum finds some floor space. She brings up a little sawdust with that one. She is ably assisted as well in that cause of the comeback by her teammate Erin Rittenhouse, who's also going to come up and get the side out for her team right here, something that Porta could not field. How about some Madeline Ward in this one as well? The kill attempt wouldn't work for her, but her defense awfully darn strong down the stretch. She's going to get the block, and Rushville Industry is going to secure 3rd place in this one. Nifty win for the Lady Rockets, who pull a little momentum out of their home gym today, taking 3rd place as well. More volleyball to talk about today. In the Moline tournament, Quincy Notre Dame reaches the championship pool before losing to the host team. Riley Hummert, ho-hum, 30 kills on the day. She's pretty darn good. Also today, Calhoun goes to Mendon and beats Unity in straight games. 18-25, 21-25, the Unity loss. Alexis Williams had 6 kills and 7 digs on the day. Hannibal struggling at Marshall today, losing in straight games. Kendall Welch, though, 13 digs in a losing cause there, and a score you don't see there. Holy Trinity today in the loaded Urbandale Classic finishes 4-1. That's not too shabby considering the quality of the competition, played up all day against bigger schools. D.A. Wybring Invitational, always fun. The host team QND, riding Adam Hudson right here, who on number 18 drains the par putt. 77 on the day, finished in 2nd place. He was trumped only by his teammate William Eversman, who fired a 75 on the day, cleaning up par nicely right here. Quincy Notre Dame so good today they fired a 312 without their number 1 player, Drew Eaton, who withdrew after 5 holes due to a shoulder problem. He expects to be fully healthy, we hope. That's the rumor that we're hearing. He expects to be fully healthy next week for regionals. Quincy High School paced today by this guy, Landon Brown, the lefty, doing some nice work right here with the short game. Although your winner today, again, Quincy Notre Dame, which builds a little momentum for the regional coming up on Tuesday. Some other golf scores to pass along today. Pittsfield winning its own invitational today with a 353. Greenview in 2nd, Payson Seymour in 3rd. Rushville Industry comes in 4th. Your medalist, Peter Greening, on the home digs today, playing exceptionally well, firing an 82 to kind of outpace the field. Drew Burwinkle in 2nd today with an 84. And then the Pittsfield contingent again showing up in the top 5. Jonah Molesky and Riley Filbert getting it done there as well. And we'll have your Con Communication Connection, your latest nominee for the month of October when overtime continues. Yeah.
Hey, do you want to come out on camera?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, please.
I think you're right.
Oh, okay.
Got 90 seconds.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it did.
All right, I'll just key in from here.
Thanks.
We're about a minute away. Hey, do you want to name in your super for communication?
Just kill that super if you would.
Okay, got it.
Actually, I did it on the next page.
Okay,
So kill the blank one.
got it. Hey, about 30 away.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. Con Communication Connection time right here as we give you the latest nominee, our second for the month of October. For your consideration is the best sports coupling of the week. It was Taryn Ritter of Monroe City all by himself last night against Scotland County. This, my friends, a classic example of the tip drill with a little juggling fun added in. Taryn Ritter have a night. Not only did he produce this absolute gem last night, also had an 80-yard touchdown reception. Taryn Ritter doing work last night. Let's look at it one more time because this was not an easy interception to snare, and somehow Taryn comes up not only with the ball, avoids two tacklers right there, kind of between Scylla and Charybdis, if you know your Greek mythology. I don't, but I'm just throwing that out there like I sound smart. Great run from him there. Good stuff right there, rolling as it would be. Taryn Ritter going in for the score on the pick six. That's a heck of a worthy nomination. Number 2 of the season right there for that young man. And he is up against a really good bit of competition so far as we start this thing off right. Nolan Bright, Jace Glover from Macon. You saw it last week, the immaculate reception between those two guys. Two pretty good nominees to start the month, both from the Clarence Cannon Conference. We'll see what next week bears out as well. And speaking of football, let's try the Bowling Green Mark Twain highlights from last night, this time with sound. Homecoming last night for Adam Holt and company. Oh yeah, Matt Hudson's crew coming in 3-3 on the season, 5-1 for the Bowling Green Bobcats, and the Bobcat defense was ready to go. So too was the Mark Twain defense from the opening of this thing. Jacob Niemeyer is a guy looking for running room. He's not going to find it right there, met by a pack of Tiger defenders. The Bobcats would go 3 and out. Twain would go to the air. Ethan Mack going to hook up here with a big fella, Wyatt Sharp, looking good right there. Sharp would plow his way all the way down inside the 5, and that sets up Tyler Elledge, the touchdown maker, going in right there. It's a 6-0 lead at that point. 2-point conversion would fail. The defense still balling out after that for the Mark Twain Tigers. Caden Jenkins met by Walker Sharp and Corey Gilmore, who played big in the trenches last night. Goodness right there. After that, though, Mark Twain hungry for a turnover, and on 4th and 9, Niemeyer goes to the air. Braden Hooley is just going to be sitting there waiting for it. It falls into his hands, his chest, and Hudson's crew stifles the Bulldog offense, or I should say the Bobcat offense once again. Bowling Green stops Mark Twain on 4th and goal from the 1, and then when they need a big play, who do you go to right there? That fella, one of the best of the business. Adam Holt, 98 yards of goodness, and all of a sudden the comeback was on for the Bowling Green Bobcats in this one. Holt not done with his heroics, not by a long shot. Draw play, and if you have this kid, why not run the draw play? Speed incarnate. Adam Holt right there, getting in and getting it done, and that, my friends, would do it. 41-6 your final last night in favor of the Bowling Green Bobcats. And wow, Central Lee last night trying to clinch its first playoff berth ever at West Burlington, Burlington Notre Dame. Defense a little banged up but good right here behind Colton Eves. Just too much of West Burlington Notre Dame last night, as it would be Tim Williams with a couple of big touchdown rumbles. Central Lee tastes its second loss of the season by the final count of 27-0. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this. I'll pitch and we'll go. Yeah, let's get rid of all of that. Okay. Thanks. In college action today, Culver Stockton men and women both lose in soccer to Avila, and a happy homecoming for the HLGU volleyball team, which beats Freed Hardeman in 5. I was too ambitious. We're all out of time. You're going to have to wait till Thursday to see the Tourism's breakdown of our top 8 teams. Sorry about that. Hey, Will Wilson with plenty of goodness for you tomorrow. Plenty of goodness coming your way in the wrestling ring next.